Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. We are holding in Bava Daf and Hey. We're starting in the Vidal base like Shu responsible in Mishpat Zami Yaakov Shalom Le'Av Sitzchol. So we're starting the Vidal base of the Bar. So the Gemara. Shal Rav Chanino ben Egel is of Chio bar Abba. Right? It's interesting because everybody quotes this Gemara, and then you see who's Rav Chanino ben Egel. You never heard his name. Chanino ben Egel. Where did he find such a name? Anyway. Yes, between Ma B'Dibus Ushoyis Le'Loi Mar Ben Toiv B'Dibus Achoyis After Him Udalef Ne'Mar Ben Toiv. What's the reason that the word Toiv is written in the Dibus Shniyos, meaning Parshas Vayeschanon, and not Dibus Ushoyis, which is in Parshas Yisro? What's the word Toiv? Because it says, Rashi brings Leman Yitav L'Cho. It says it should be good for you. So what does it mean? The word Toiv is mentioned only in Dibus Achoyis and not at Dibus Rishonos. So he says why? Why asking why? If doesn't read the Toiv or not. I don't know if the Toiv was written or not. He was someone who was Boki Ba'akoto, and he will tell you. So he went to him, and he went to explain to him why. Now, before we go on, the Shiloh that Mamish everybody is asking, all that everybody's bothered by, is how can you tell me that he didn't know if it says Toiv or not? Open the Torah and you see if it says Toiv. You don't know if it says Toiv, it's Parshas Vayeschanon, Chumash. He doesn't know if it says Toiv. That's the big Shiloh everybody's bothered by. Mamish, like that's the whole tumult here. So, I'll tell you in short, two Mahalchim, the way they say it to explain this point. Maybe three. The first one is Toysah. Tizbo Basha says, yeah, they didn't know. So they didn't know all, they weren't so sure of Chaseris, Hiseris, they weren't sure, some words they didn't know. But many of them, of course, disagree with that and feel that's incorrect. So then comes there's two main malachim. All the achorim speak about it. Basically, it's like almost every achor on this sugya has something that malach. But there's two main malachim that comes up from the sugya. One is mentioned it in the Shomach Shov of yesterday's daf that you have a discussion. What is Dibros Achoros? What is Dibros Achoros? Dibros Achoros is the sense Dibros written in two places. So in Parshas Yisro, it's written in Parshas Vayeschanon. When you read the Torah, when you speak about Parshas Vayeschanon, what is it talking about? No, I just see that. It's talking about the same event. It just repeats what happened. So, is it just talking about the same thing? Or it's not talking about the same thing, but it's talking about Luchas Achoros. Meaning the version of Dibros Achoros that was the language of Dibros Achoros. That's a discussion. Mashal touched upon this. If the Maritz Chai said the Pri Yeshua over here, the Chazal Sefer, they all go in this math. When he says "Ein Yudei in Mar Ben Toiv," I'm not sure if Luchas Shniers, if Dibros Shniers is different than Dibros Achoros. There's other words in it, but maybe it's referring to the same thing. So it just tells you one quoted some words, the other quoted another part, but it's really the same thing. Or you say no, it's two different things. Parshas Yisro is Luchas Achoros, and Parshas Vayeschanon is Luchas Achoros. In other words, Parshas Vayeschanon is Dibros Achoros, which means repetition of the Dibros that were said in Sinai, or Parshas Vayeschanon is a new Luach, something new. And that is that's the discussion over here. But then we're doing first Dafron Hay. So that's one way that Achim say it. And the other way is, and that's the Mahalach of the Vilna Gaon. We're starting at Nun Hay. We're starting on Udaf. So
he did that yesterday.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So the what's it called? The other Achorim go. There's the Maharal, the Marshal. Yeah, there's Maharal. The way the Vilna Gaon touches upon it and others. The pshat is, we know that it says Toiv and Dibros Achoros. The shaila is why. What makes Dibur Zacharis toif? Luchas Zacharis. We know it's Luchas Zacharis. Why is it toif? It's not good. It's bad. The Amshul did a chait, and therefore they got Dibur Zacharis. So why would you have toif Dibur Zacharis, not Dibur Zacharis? So what comes out, that's all the Chayyim, each one in his own way, that Luchas Zacharis is good for us, because obviously through the fact that they forgot the Torah, through the fact that they have to work, toil in Torah, that's a Yekain in Torah. Through the through the Choshech get the door. So that's why, I don't know that the word Torah is there. I don't understand the Torah is there. That's how many information. Okay. More about this in the Shul Machshava of tonight. Says the Gemara. So he asked, why does it say, so I didn't hear from me, I heard from somebody else. Because it's going to be break according to the Chassidus Ma'alach. Pshat is it's really Luchas Hashem, Luchas Achaydos. So what if it's going to break? It can't be that the Toiva stopped. So the Toiva of Am Yisrael doesn't stop. So after Luchas Rishayno is that going to break, doesn't say Toiv. Luchas Achaydos that does break does say Toiv. Someone says the letter test in his dream, Simon Yofala, it's a good Simon. My time, what's your reason? Because the word Toiv is mentioned. Maybe it means bad thing. Means take a broom, take away all the, you get rid of Amisor. So a chat test, right? No, that's two tests. Two tests. What is it? One test. Aim at two tests can represent two. Test base coming. Say test base, that's toiv. Aim at tovu bochar, also test base can be a bad thing. Can mean drowning. That's the toiv. That's the first time it says toiv. That's the first letter that we're using the word toiv is this word. The letter test is not mentioned in the Torah until you get to the word ad vayar ki toiv. That's what it is. Now. So here, it's very interesting. This will be also more in length than Shul Machshava tonight. But this is mamish, it's a big yesait. Because some asked, I agree with the Kala brings the question. What do you mean? What does it mean? Because the first letter that mentions the Torah test is a good thing. It's Torah. Many letters the Torah mentions in the Torah is good. Maybe the word ches, it says choshech. Maybe everything else is good things. Oh, wait, what's special about this? So talking about Tzaddik, biggest site. Tzaddik says it at several places throughout his farm. He says, what is the first time the Torah mentioned the letter Tes? Toiv. Whenever the Torah mentions something for the first time, that represents what it is. The first time a word is mentioned, the first time a letter is mentioned, that's the essence of that item. What? In the Torah. Whenever the first time the letter Tes is mentioned in the Torah, is the word Toiv. Then afterwards it's mentioned many other times. But the first time is Toiv. Pashbrachis. And then so he goes on throughout the Sfar and many other things. One is the letter Ayin mentioned. Brings what Chazal say. The letter Samech is mentioned. Legabe the Satan. And because when Aisha was the letter Samech is mentioned by Aisha. Vayizgur Basa Tachteo. To tell me that when the Satan was created, that when the Isha was created, the Satan was created with her. Because that's the first letter Samech. Whenever then the first time is mentioned, that is its essence. And here's the Mukher. Our Gemara is the Mukher. Says the Gemara, a person that sees Hesped in his dream, they was Rechmanas Shamayim and they saved him. He was supposed to die, he didn't die. That's only if he sees the word Pseudo written in words, not just saw an image of a Hesped, but he actually saw the word Hesped. Says Chayav is also included in all these terms. And we're also Kilai. Tanigol, Tavas, Upisari. These are different types of birds. Kilai, they're all Kilai. Pshito, what's a Chiddush? Because they grow together. Now the time min chadu kashavim it's one min kamash one. Omashwol avos v'avos abar kilayin zebazeh. Two different types of goose. One is the wild one is not. My time, why are they two different things? One has a longer beak, another one is a small one. You're going to have two types of camels, the Persian camel and the Arab camel. The one has a larger neck, one is a small one. Because of that shape. You don't say that. The problem is the beitzim. It's the beitzim outside of the body and inside. That's what differentiates them. One, when they give birth, there's only one egg at a time. The other one has a few eggs in together. Having a reveal of two creatures in the sea, there's a malchus. My title is you learn you learn from the word Mineo that it says Be'abasho, then it means Bakilaim, so also Bayam, you can't have Kilaim. Person who does a Hanoga, which means he has a wagon, and the wagon is being pulled with a goat and with a type of fish. Because a goat does not go into the sea and a fish does not go to the Yabasho, it's not considered to be Kilaim. They are both. We have wheat and barley together and you plant it. Something in Chutzoretz. Will be chayav? As I was going to explain, because in Chutzoretz there's no Kilaim. Only a cover. Also, you have Kilaim, you don't have, so of course it doesn't join. We have a problem to do Kilaim with the fish and Kilaim with the Yabasha. Shaz, can you do together? That's a discussion. This they have interesting discussions. Is it possible to have our ball to have a mating of two fish, or fish with a? Is it impossible technically to have these things? Okay, how do Shosh goes the foil? How do Shosh goes the foil? That's a discussion over here. Right. Today's brings over here regarding Haribol, but Yam. There's interesting discussions about that. Okay. Sukta, we're starting that. We started Pek Akainis, and Davrim with base, Pek Shishi, Look, everybody learned this. That's what you learn in Kita, right in 5th grade. You start with the Akainis. Actually, my kids are learning now in 7th grade. 7th grade. In elementary school, one of the classic prokim that you learn is Pek Akainis. So I have many things you'll be very familiar. Someone puts the sheep into an enclosure, to a deer. How do you translate deer? A pen.
Sheep into a fold.
He calls a fold. Pen. And he locked in front of it properly. So because he did it right. It did not lock properly. And went out to be mazik chayav. And then he's chayav. If it was broken into, if it broke in the night, or thieves came and broke into it, so then the potter, who's potter? Everybody's potter. The owner, he's not his fault. The listim, they didn't do it, they just opened the door. But if the listim pulled her out, and then they're chayav. Put her under the sun, and the sun was on top of her. Or he gave it under to Chesed because they don't know the garter. Because he's putting it in a place where she's suffering or there's no guard, and it caused her to go up in Masi. Masra Leroy, he gave it to a roy, to a shepherd. The roy replaces the owner, he becomes responsible. Naflo Ligino, if she fell into a garden, Fenenes, and she enjoyed the food. Shalma Shenenes, so then she has to pay Dano. The one that tells us what Dano is, it's not a full damage. Well, one sheet of the wall will be 2/3. Yarta Kedak, he didn't fall. She actually climbed down. She went down and she was mazik. Shalma Shezik, and then she has to pay the full damage. How do you do full damage? So the Gemara says, we mentioned a little bit before, Shamin Beis Seyo Bois Sod Kamayofa Kamaisova Kamayofa. You look at a field, they say in that Sode, and you say, oh, how much is this Beis Seyo, this size field, how much is worth with this fruits or without the fruits? So let's say if I come and give you, we can connect to this much better. If you have, I give you a house which is furnished, the house is not furnished. So the house is furnished, you're giving $200,000. If it's not furnished, $200,000. It's furnished, make it a little more, $205,000, right? If I sell you only the furniture is $30,000. So if I look at the furniture on its own, it's much more expensive. If I look at it as part of a bigger deal, it's less. If the fruits are fully ripe, you have to pay the full value. You don't do based on the sun. If sales sometimes depends. Whatever you ate, you have to pay for that. What does it mean to close properly? What does that mean? What does the words mean? If the door can stand in a normal wind, that's right. Did it right? That's not correct. So says the Gemara, what does the Gemara understand? Then locking the door and it's roy la'amoid beruch metzu in the normal wind, that's called a shmir pchusu. That's the minimal shmir. I guard it in a way that it won't, it's not something crazy. I don't have to assume anything crazy is going to happen. So, but it's not a shmir rule. It's not a perfect shmir. So who's the mandama that says that that's good enough? For mu'ud, we're talking about shen v'regel, as Moses told us. He went out Miyotzah using shen v'regel, which is a mu'ud. So beauty did not kosher ba'al b'musar. We saw earlier, if you tied the shirt with a rope, v'no lefana of karoi, and he locked the front of it properly, v'yotzah v'hizik, and he went out and he was mazik. He did properly, which means shmir pchusa. You're You're not shmir rule. So we saw it's exhaustive also. It's like extra words. To teach you shmir pchus is enough. So that's my mood. You need to have a knife. You have to kill that. So you see, according to Rabbi, the shmir pchus is enough. So therefore here, shmir pchus, according to should be enough. That's why in our Mishnah it's enough. So what? Shani shen v'regel da'aturim yatur shmurs. No. All the Rameir said that Shor Muad needs to have a shmir meula only by carrying. But a shen v'regel, you don't have to have shmir meula. The Torah says it's enough. The four things the Torah says you don't have to be shemir so strong. These are the ones. Bor, you don't have to bor a pit, veish fire. Shame v'regel. More explains. It says if you dug a hole and you didn't cover it, you don't have to fill it up. Just cover it. That's good enough. To be chai, you have to be almost like doing the fire. You didn't guard it at all. You did some guarding your fire. You have to be active eating. But if you didn't shmir, you're good enough. Shilach meaning that you have to send the animal, mamish to send it and not guard it. The Gemara now says, I didn't know, okay, we talk about Shilach Ubir, I didn't know that's regular, that's Shen, then we quoting what we said in the beginning of the Sektor. Shach tells you that we're talking about a regel, because it says Shach regel. Ubir is Hashem, you finish eating until the end. So Taimudo became Shilach Ubir. Dafke, if you mamish send it, then you're chayav. Haloi ovid loy mamish. If you did shmir pchus, it's good enough. So small shmir is good enough. One more round, see that damideka. Bring a right from our Mishnah too. The ktani tzoin. It says sheep, right? Until now did we see the word sheep mentioned in the Gemara? No. We spoke about short. Until we spoke about ox. Need the shore. Why you talk about? We'll talk about sheep. Because the Torah says it's less. Who explains the kan keren l'ksivabo shen v'regel l'chtibe. By sheep you only mention shen v'regel. There's no keren. A sheep doesn't have a horn, or doesn't have a horn at least to be mazik. It's different. In other words, the Gemara says, according to the Havana of the Gemara, Karen Muot, Shor Muot, and Shed Regel is the same. The both Shed Regel is Muot Mitchilosoi, and Karen is Muot after 3 times. It's the same thing. It says the Gemara, no. Karen, which is Muot, it's special. Krosalazik, there Meir said you have to have Shrir Mu'ul. Shed Regel, based on what the Torah teaches us, you have to have Shrir Mu'ul, and that's why our Mishnah switches from being a shar to be speaking about a sheep. What do you mean? Regarding Shor Mu'ud, but regarding Shev Regel, there's no machlek.
The basis is on the crop.
Only regarding Shor, only Gabi Karen. But the Gabi Shev Regel, everybody agrees. Everybody agrees. That's what it is. It comes according to Rabbi Yehuda that Karen and Shev Regel are the same when they become Mu'ud, regarding the Mu'ud part. Okay, so that was Daf Nun, the Seder.